Hey, it can be really difficult to be sick, well, at all, but especially as a teacher, because you have to plan for your sub, and then in addition, you're not there and you don't really know how it's going, and so you're anticipating that when you get back, you're going to be playing catch up a lot, even though you had to do work ahead of time just so that you could be out, and you may not even have known about it ahead of time because you might have gotten sick, so that makes it incredibly difficult to actually take the rest that you need to get better. However, what I want to do is show you how you can make the substitute's job a little bit easier, and that means they'll do a better job and you'll have less cleanup to do when you get back. So this is an example of the substitute binder that I have created for this year. Now, I'm really lucky because our office has a color printer, so occasionally I'll be like, hey, will you print this off for me in color? Honestly, you don't need a fancy cover like this, although I'm really happy with mine. If you can do it, go ahead and do it. It just made me feel happy with it. The substitute binder is something that I can put together ahead of time that then, if I'm out, it's already there. I don't have to worry about it. It has lesson plans that can be used if I don't actually have anything planned. If I didn't plan this absence, it's not for a field trip or for an appointment or something like that. But if I get sick over the weekend and Monday morning I can't come in because I'm contagious, not good, I still have something here that can be used by somebody who is completely unfamiliar with my class. Here's how I have it set up. So in the beginning, I've got my table of contents, which shows where everything is. The back of the table of contents is my general procedures. Things like what to expect at the start of class, what the student should know how to do, what they should do, even if they don't actually do that. How to take attendance, what to do with it, what to do about students asking to use the restroom, when they go to lunch, when they should be back from lunch, and then also what to do towards the end of class, where to go for help, how to contact the office, all that right here. Easy stuff, basic stuff. You'll probably maybe need to do this. Next, I have my rosters. In this case, I don't actually have them on seating charts. If you do have assigned seating, I would suggest using it. These classes are advanced, and I pretty much say, okay, sit where you want. So I don't actually have seating, and I also indicate that in my general procedures. So if you have seating charts, I highly recommend using them. Our school also has photos of the students in our online gradebook, so I can actually take those photographs and put them on my seating chart. It takes a little bit of time, but again, it's super, super helpful for this up. One of the things that is most challenging for me is that if I have a student who is starting to get a little off task, I want to address that behavior before it actually becomes a problem. Challenge is, without photos on the seating chart, I can't be absolutely certain that they are sitting where they are supposed to be sitting. Or they may have gotten up and walked across the room to get help from a friend, sharpen a pencil or something like that. With photos on the seating chart, I can identify which student I need to talk to, and I can call them by name, and that's super, super helpful. I also have a few little bit of notes on here. I have some students who are not required to attend every day, so I have that on there. That is something I don't need to change. I can keep it on my roster. Here, I have my emergency lesson plans. This stays in here. If I know that I'm going to be out, though, I can make up the plan for that day, just first block, second block, and so on. This is when lunch is, and I can just slide it in because I'm using these sheet protectors. On the back of this, I have the bell schedule for the day. This actually includes not just the regular bell schedule, but also if we have like a snow day and there's a delay, or if we have a pep rally or something that changes the normal schedule, but it's something that we have a plan for. That goes in here. Next, I have a school map. This is actually a safety map, but it gives the room numbers and stuff like that. I've added in little labels for which room is the media center. This is the cafeteria, things like that. And then I also included in red, this is how to get out for a fire drill. I kept that in here because it's useful, but in the next folder, I have things like my emergency procedures, as well as the attendance slips, some notebook paper, things like that. And again, that's also indicated on my table of contents. Here's the things you can find in the green folder. In addition to the green folder, I also have the blue folder. This one doesn't have anything in it. That's because sometimes I will have things that I want the students to hand back to me. If the sub collects assignments, they go in the blue folder. Also, some of the notebook paper might be used by the sub to tell me that one of my classes was not behaving appropriately. Anything from the sub to me should go in the blue folder. Again, that's spelled out in my general procedures. So all of this, hopefully, will make the sub stay a little bit easier, and that means it'll make my job a little bit easier, both when I'm leaving and I know I'm not going to be there, when I'm at home trying to get better because I'm sick, and when I get back after I've been away. There are also some things that I do with my classes in order to make sure that the sub and the students have as good of a day as possible. I make sure that students know ahead of time where to generally find things, what they should be able to do without help. We are at this point a one-to-one school, so students have Chromebooks. Every student has a Chromebook. When I post materials on Google Classroom for students to use digitally, I also make sure to include a printout for the sub to access or for students that don't actually have their Chromebook or it's not charged. Another thing I do is I tell the students when there's a difference between the plans that I give you and what the sub tells you to do. Unless the sub is telling you to break a rule or a law, you do what the sub tells you to do. This helps to smooth out any problems, and I can check with the students afterward and check with the sub's notes to make sure that all of it is clear between what the students are telling me and what I've heard from the sub. 2 other things that I use that are helpful are calling caregivers and bribes. If students have an especially good day and the sub lets me know, I will go over to the workroom, dig into my candy stash, every student gets a piece of candy. It's not anything major, and we've heard that extrinsic rewards can decrease intrinsic motivation, but research also shows that this is only when we are consistent with those extrinsic rewards. People begin to expect them. When it is something that happens only occasionally, it becomes less of an expectation, and it's more of a treat. I like treats. Who doesn't like treats? So I hope this was helpful for you. These are the things that I do ahead of time, as well as the procedures that I put in place that hopefully help my classroom run smoothly, even when I'm not actually here to be the one running it. If you have any other suggestions, I would love to hear them. You know what I want you to do. Leave me a comment. Thank you so much. I hope that this was helpful, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.